They have never seen an offense like ours. They won't know how to stop Lamar, meaning the New England Patriots. I thought he had sealed that team's fate right there because more times than not, you don't call out a Belichick and Brady-led regime and not have a price to pay for it. And then on the first drive of the game last night, Baltimore drives the ball down the field, and they score a touchdown to go up 7-0. Patriots' first drive of the game was just absolutely horrendous. Tom Brady's first throw, I believe that was intended for Sony Michel. He threw it well over his head to the sideline. Next thing you know, Baltimore goes up 17-0. Now, the Patriots found a way to fight back into this thing, but a Julian Edelman fumble that was scooped up by Marlon Humphrey, who is another underrated name in this game. We're going to get to all of this in just a second. But he scoops that fumble up. He takes it in for a touchdown. And it's just downhill from there for the Patriots. Brady ends up taking a hit in the pocket, and he releases the football as he's attempting to throw it downfield, and it's well over his receiver, right into the hands of Earl Thomas of the Ravens. And that pretty much sealed the fate of the game right there. But the Ravens went ahead and added insult to injury by adding another touchdown on the board there late in the fourth quarter, with Lamar Jackson literally being pulled into the end zone by his offensive lineman, Orlando Brown Jr. Scott, I wasn't expecting that. It wouldn't have surprised me if the Ravens won the game, but they dominated this game. And after last night, I just have to say, we now need to put the Baltimore Ravens in that conversation with the Patriots and the Chiefs as far as this season goes. Lamar Jackson isn't the perfect quarterback. He's not going to be the guy who you let go out there and drop back in the pocket and throw it 40 times. But he is a dynamic quarterback. He is Michael Vick and Vince Young with Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham's winning intangibles. The floor is yours.
Well, you said a mouthful there, without a doubt. Yeah, he's definitely an incredible athlete, incredible quarterback that can run and is beginning to be a good thrower. I mean, those are some pretty good high praises for him. I'll go to John Harbaugh. He's the most underrated coach in football. At least he has a Super Bowl championship to show for it. So, he's a good football mind. And I don't know, was he really ever on a hot seat last year? In my eyes, I don't think he was. But that's just my opinion. So, I don't know. The way I look at it is, the Baltimore Ravens were scoring touchdowns at the end to let the New England Patriots know right now that we can stand there and counterpunch. And I think that if Baltimore were to face New England again, they could beat them again, looking the way they do. It didn't hurt that Mark Ingram got the running game going a little bit. Mark Ingram is another underappreciated back who played with the New Orleans Saints and was Alvin Kamara's sidekick and formed a good 1-2 punch. So, to me, I don't even think the Kansas City Chiefs reached the conference championship game at all. They can't get their defense right. Mahomes, for as good of a quarterback as he is, I just think that the AFC stacked. I like what we're seeing with the Ravens. I really do.
Well, here's what I'll say about the Chiefs. I'm starting to see their defensive front seven. I'm starting to see them get after the quarterback more. So that's an encouraging sign. But here's the sign that's not very encouraging for me. They're doing that with Matt Moore in at quarterback. Do they continue to do that when Patrick Mahomes comes back? That part I'm not sure of. But when I look at the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill is finally healthy. We know how huge of a part of that offense he was a year ago. And when he and Patrick Mahomes get in sync, I believe they'll get back in rhythm. I believe that team will get back rolling. I'm not sure if they're going to reach the conference championship, though, however, because you can talk about the Ravens, you can talk about the Patriots. Scott, there's one more team we have to include in this, and that would be the Houston Texans. I know they lost J.J. Watt, but this team is finally starting to build their team around Deshaun Watson, and he is responding. He is showing everyone why he should have been drafted to the Chicago Bears over Mitchell Trubisky. And you know, we don't have to touch too much on that, but I just want to say this for our listeners to understand. Here was Mitchell Trubisky's first half statistics yesterday. He was 6 of 13 passing. He had 24 yards, and the Chicago Bears had one first down in the first half that was courtesy of a defensive penalty. That's all you need to know about that. The Bears will not be going to the playoffs this year, and it's shameful because that defense is so great. I mean, that defense has a chance to be one of the best defenses in the NFL for years to come, as long as they can keep that core together, especially with them being led by a monster like Khalil Mack. But with that quarterback situation, that is just a mess over there. I'm not sure why they didn't trade for someone like Teddy Bridgewater. It beats me. But they won't be going to the playoffs this year. And it's just an insult to injury to watch Deshaun Watson do what he does in Houston, knowing that you could have had him over having Mitchell Trubisky. I won't throw Mahomes' name in there, Scott, because we really didn't know what Patrick Mahomes was. We just knew that he was a special type of arm talent. Right. But we didn't know about his other intangibles because he was at Texas Tech, and they were a losing program there under Cliff Kingsbury. But when it came to Deshaun Watson, you knew what he was. We had watched him on the big stage for the previous 2 years go head-to-head against Nick Saban and that vaunted Crimson Tide defense. And he took them to the wire both times in both college football playoff national championship games that he led Clemson to. They won the last one that they played in, but you knew what Deshaun Watson was. And you didn't know what Mitchell Trubisky was. You know, the Bears, they've done a good job over the past few years of drafting talent and accumulating players, but you missed on the quarterback, and that's the most important position on that field.
Yeah, but Mitchell Trubisky didn't look that bad a year ago. All of a sudden he's having a rough year, and everybody's coming down on him. Let me go back to Kansas City for a moment, if I may, all right? The Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, won't be relevant until they can get the running game going. I don't care what anybody says. The guy that needs to play a bigger role in that running game is LaShawn McCoy. I don't get it why he isn't. You can only throw the ball so much until you need to have you need to control the football by running the rock. You just have to do it. And I don't think their defense is that great. I really don't. And that'll be their Achilles heel. But they need to run the football, Xavier. They do. They're too one-dimensional. If you have a bad defense, you know what your compensator there is a good running game to make sure you keep the other team off the field.
Well, Scott, I agree with you on that, but here's my question to you. Do you really think LaShawn McCoy can really get it going for them consistently? Because he had an awful year in Buffalo last year. And I know he had a nice, decent start to the season for them this year, but I don't think that's who he is anymore. Yeah, I just don't.
But I do.
And I'm not really sure what to make of Damian Williams.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I do, Xavier. I mean, there's familiarity with Andy Reid in Philadelphia. If anybody can get LaShawn McCoy going, it's Andy Reid if he chooses to do so. And I choose my words carefully, if he chooses to do so. But, you know, Kansas City's too one-dimensional, Xavier. They are way too one-dimensional. You know, I remember many years ago when the Lions had to run and shoot, and they had all these wide receivers out there, had no running a game. Right, you can outscore the other team, but you can't wear out your defense at the same time. You've got to run the ball, and you have to run the clock down. And I think that's where Kansas City, unfortunately, lacks quite a bit. So.
And as I stated before, I agree with you on that. They do have to figure out how to get the run game going. the thing that just concerns me the most about LaShawn McCoy is not even the familiarity there with him and Andy Reid. It's has age and attrition taken a toll on him. That part concerns me,
right?
Because I don't believe we have the answers for that.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will address this in the offseason, and they'll go out and they'll acquire a younger running back. It makes me wonder, Scott, why they were not in on the Kenyon Drake sweepstakes, because you wouldn't have had to give up much for him at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kenyon Drake was there for the tanking, but they obviously weren't going to be taking him. But I still will say, don't count out LaShawn McCoy. Let the guy run the football and get him involved with the offense. That's what I think. I'm not going to back away from that. I've said that all show. I'll say that again. Don't write the guy off. I think that he has a fair amount to take. Whatever they do addressing the offseason is another story. But that's what I believe. They're way too one-dimensional. So.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that. And even when everyone was saying, well, they need to go get Jalen Ramsey, that wasn't going to fix their defensive problems as a whole.
True.
They have way too many holes there. Scott, it's very hard to believe that we went from just a few years ago when they had a defense that had so much talent on it. You had Eric Berry and you had a young Marcus Peters and Justin Houston and Dontari Poe and Tamba Ali and Derek Johnson, and it's hard to believe how we've fallen from that, because that was one of the top defenses in the league, and that's when they had the conservative Alex Smith playing quarterback from them, and they were only going to go so far with him because he's just not that guy. He's just not.
Right. Well, I agree. But what are you going to do? Andy Reid's been there a long time. If you bring in Alex Smith, it wouldn't matter who you bring back there. What are you looking for, a game manager? Or a guy that can throw the deep ball that could really run a lot of points. Marty Schottenheimer, I'll never forget when he was fired from the Chargers for having a 14-2 record. Scary thought, isn't it?
It definitely is, and that was a very unceremoniously firing there, and it shouldn't have happened, because Norv Turner, he didn't do much better.
Right.
He had nice regular seasons, but when it came to the playoffs, there were still similar results. And I believe that had the Chargers stuck with Marty Ball, maybe we would have had a different conversation, and LaDainian Tomlinson would have retired with a Vince Lombardi trophy. I don't know. But you don't fire a coach after going 14-2.
Well,
The Chargers, they showed us otherwise. You just don't do that, because there was a nice culture there, and you can really tell that when the Chargers, and I am going to get back to the Baltimore Ravens on this, but I'm glad you brought this up, because you can really tell that when they did that, it affected that locker room as a whole. That defense didn't play the same the very next year. LaDainian Tomlinson wasn't looking like the same player the very next year, albeit he was suffering from a few minor injuries at that point. But, something just felt off.
Well, think about it, Xavier, for a minute. Why do you think Eli Manning did not want to be a part of the Chargers? He apparently didn't think enough of the ownership of the front office to get in a position where he can win a Super Bowl. To fire a coach after a 14-2 record, to me, is about the most absurd thing I could ever have visualized. It just is. But the Chargers did it. Did Schottenheimer get another job, or did he retire at that point? I can't remember.
No, he ended up retiring.
So, what a way to retire.
And before I go back to the Baltimore Ravens, I'll say this as well. God bless Marty Schottenheimer. He's been suffering through a few health issues for the past few years now, so of course we're wishing him all the best. But let me get back to the Baltimore Ravens really quickly.
Sure.
Scott, I don't know if this team has any holes. That's the thing that would frighten me if I'm the the rest of the AFC. I honestly don't know if they have any hope. Listen, Lamar Jackson